Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be seeing what MLB players are overrated or underrated in a tier list fashion. If you do enjoy, hit me up with a like and a subscribe, and let's get right into the video. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Century Breaks. If you're interested in cards and are wanting the hottest cards from the newest series, but for a bargain price, buy into a break. Breaks are where you buy a division from a box and receive all cards from said division in the box or boxes of cards. This way you're only paying for a fraction of the price and might even get some huge hits. 6 people make a break, so click the link in the description to sign up now for a break if you're interested, and watch the live stream to see your hits get pulled live. Once again, click the link in the description if interested, and let's get back to the video. So we got the tiers here, overrated, and then we just this is like slightly, and then underrated, properly rated. You know how it is. Aaron Judge. Okay, so before this year, I would have said that he was probably slightly underrated just because he was putting up fantastic numbers. But I feel like now he's probably everyone knows that he's good now, so I think he's put himself into the properly rated territory. Alex Bregman, I feel like no one talks about him much anymore, but I feel like a lot of people expect him to still be fantastic like he was in his MVP days. I think he's slightly overrated. Bo Bichette, I really like Bo Bichette, but I feel like he could be up here. Not having a good year this year. I'll go slightly. Bobby Witt Jr., I think he's slightly underrated. I feel like just because he's on the Royals, no one talks about him. He's having a solid year. 270, about 15 home runs, 50 some RBIs. That's pretty good. Brandon Crawford, oh, I shouldn't say that. That's just meaning he's not good anymore. Slightly overrated. Brandon Nimmo, if I were to tell you before this year, I probably would have put him in underrated just because he is an on-base freak. His numbers this year just are not very good. I will say he's probably still slightly underrated. Brian Reynolds, he's not having a great year this year. He's probably slightly overrated because everyone still thinks he is pretty good. Bryce Harper, everything in me wants to put him at slightly underrated, but I feel like he's pretty properly rated now. Byron Buxton, this one's actually interesting too because he is really good. He's probably properly rated. Carlos Correa is definitely overrated. I mean, people still think of him as a top 20 player. He's just not that. He's a guy who has a great glove and an okay bat. Or no, this is not Joey Bar. This is Carlos Rodon. He's slightly underrated. Huh? He's very underrated. I thought about that for just a second. Another one. No one talks about him, dude. He's great. Cedric Mullins, slightly overrated because he had a great year last year. He was hyped up. Even I did put him in the top 50 players. I think at least. And he's not having a good year this year. Christian Yelich, I think that everyone's just kind of come to the realization that he's just not that good anymore. He's just about what his stats are now. That's just kind of what he is. I thought about it. Probably could be slightly overrated. People still expect him to be great. Clayton Kershaw, dude. Everyone thinks this guy's career is over. It's not. He's still putting up incredible numbers. Bellinger, same thing with Yelich. Although I think it's on a lesser scale. Everyone actually knows that he's not that good anymore. No one expects him to be anything. Corey Seeger, I think that it's hard to put him in a guy in underrated who has a $300 million contract. Same thing with Harper, but he's being overshadowed that he's on the Rangers right now, and he's having a phenomenal year. PEDs? I don't know. Francisco Lindor, properly rated. I need to start flying through some of these. I think that the next 5, we're gonna go 5 at a time. Frankie Montas, slightly overrated. Freddie Freeman is properly rated. Garrett Cole is slightly overrated, and Javi Baez is very overrated. And then Jazz is slightly overrated. Jesse Winker, probably properly rated, maybe slightly under. No one really appreciates him, but he has fired up the Mariners team. Gallo, everyone just knows he sucks. Joey Votto is overrated. No, he'll go slightly. Jose Altuve, slightly underrated somehow. People don't talk about him much. Jose Ramirez, slightly. Juan Soto, I know it's tough to do this with a guy who's a top 2, top 3 player in baseball. I feel like everyone thinks he's having way better of a season than he actually is. He's only hitting 250, but I think he's probably in the properly rated category. Julio, another one, properly rated. Everyone thinks that he's great. Everyone thinks he's going to be great for a while. Katel Marte is slightly underrated. No talk about this guy. He's great. Chris Bryant, properly. Luis Robert, actually slightly underrated, and just no one is noticing that he's slightly, like, quietly putting up a 300 average right now. Manny Machado is properly rated. Marcus Semien, over. No, because no one talks about him. We'll go slightly over. Stroman, slightly over. Matt Olson, he's probably properly rated. He's having like a good year, not a great year. Yeah, he's slightly over. Scherzer, properly rated. Mike Trout, probably the best player. I was trying to do this yesterday. Like, he's probably still the best player in baseball. Poppy, can he play baseball? Mookie, properly. Is this Nestor Cortez Jr.? Probably slightly overrated, actually. Castellanos, slightly over. I hate to do it, but he is. He's been hot the last couple weeks, but not a good year this year. Arenado, slightly underrated. Actually, I know people think of him as really good, but he is probably one of the more underrated players in baseball. Ozzy Albies is very overrated. Oh my gosh. Dude, he's like a 700 OPS guy. People treat him like he's the next coming of Jesus Christ. Rafi, probably slightly under, honestly, because he's hitting like in the 300s this year. Hits for power. Ronald Acuna is slightly overrated. I mean, yeah, he's injured, but just not having a great year this year. Salvi's slightly over. Nah, I think he's properly rated, just no one's really talking about him. Sandy, people know that he's the best pitcher in the NL this year. Shohei, we know how he is. Trey Turner, probably slightly overrated. Oh, don't get me wrong, I think he's a top 10 player in baseball, but people treat him like he's the best. Like, Trevor Story, probably slightly overrated. He's underperforming. Ooh, Tyler O'Neill. That's a great one. Slightly over. I think people expected too much from him after last year. Vlad Guerrero, probably properly. Wander Franco, ooh. I think for what he's shown us thus far, he is slightly overrated. Xander Bogaerts is slightly underrated somehow. Jordan, I think, is also properly rated. And Zach Gallen is criminally underrated. He is phenomenal. All right, that's the list. Not a lot of like way overrated or way underrated. A lot more overrated players than underrated, but yeah, that's how it's just gonna work. All right, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like as well as subscribe. Join the card breaks, link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Have a blessed one.